Hey, this is Brian. Welcome back to the channel where we seek to expose the left versus the right propaganda lie. We've got the leftist propagandists like Adam Mockler, Dave Pakman, the Young Turks, Midas Touch, and you got the rightist propagandists like Brandon Tatum, Benny Johnson, Charlie Kirk. We're going to start with the leftist propagandists right here because it seems to me that a lot of people are engaging in tabloid speculation as it revolves around Donald Trump's health and his recent disappearance. Even Forbes magazine got in on it and said, hey, the president hasn't been seen since Wednesday. What happened to the president? And they start questioning his mortality. Is he still with us? Is he dead? Is he still alive? Where is he? This is Adam Mockler, and then we're going to deal with Benny Johnson and what he says. I'm just going to give you a little sliver of what Benny Johnson says and what he speculates about with regard to the Cracker Barrel name and logo change, as if that's something we really need to focus on, when really it just signifies where people's minds are today. We're on such a shallow level in America where a logo change on a restaurant chain seems to be the top of the list for what leftists and rightists want to talk about when there are way, way bigger fish to fry.
All right, we have some major breaking news. Twitter is blowing up after a group of Washington reporters realized that Donald Trump has not been seen by anybody since Tuesday, and there are no publicly planned events for the next few days as well.
Now, this was put out 13 hours ago. Since that time, Trump has been seen getting ready for a golfing tournament. As posted here by Forbes, it says, is Trump dead? Rumors debunked as Trump seen leaving for golf. President Donald Trump on Saturday was photographed leaving for his golf course in Virginia, dispelling unfounded rumors spread on social media that Trump has died in recent days after not being seen publicly. Now, what's really interesting about this is Midas Touch and Adam Mockler and Dave Pakman and the Young Turks and Brian Tyler Cohen chose not to focus on Joe Biden's health, but they're somehow fixated on Donald Trump's health for some reason.
This is highly unique for the president who is addicted to cameras. Instead, we've seen Stephen Miller, Caroline Leavitt, J.D. Vance making Fox News appearances, but again, no Donald Trump. I do want to remind you that for the past few weeks, there's been a lot of makeup on Trump's left hand and over his arm due to the purple spots that he has. Now, that in and of itself isn't that irregular. I have family members who have the same thing, but
it's not that irregular, but I'm going to mention it anyway and put in my title, Trump missing after scary clip, which gets 814,000 views in 13 hours. I'm going to make a viral clip right here because I know this is the tabloid type of headline that people really respond to. And I know this isn't a big deal, but I'm going to mention it anyway.
That combined with Trump's health and what Trump says, it then becomes pretty weird. This reads, whispers are traveling through the Washington press pool that Donald Trump has not been seen since Tuesday and has zero publicly planned events through the weekend. This clip that I'm about to play is apparently one of the last times Trump was seen by the press. And I'll play this clip in just one moment, but Laura Rosen is the one who essentially broke this online. Her original post is up to 19.4 million views.
19 million views on one post in less than 24 hours. That shows you what people are focused on, what they're fixated on, what they respond to, the views it generates, the ad revenue it creates. This is our world today. Truth fears no scrutiny. Truth is the new hate speech, and truth is the first casualty in any war. So if we are in an information war, well, this kind of explains the misdirection, because this is what people choose to focus on.
It's a good time to point out that while Trump is just gone, not in front of any of the cameras,
not gone anymore. 13 hours later, he reappears doing what? Doing what Trump likes to do, playing golf.
None of the problems he claimed to solve, that he would solve, have been solved. The war in Ukraine is not only raging on, but Russia is taking advantage of Trump's weakness to kill dozens of people every single day. Israel and Palestine still fighting. There's no end to the war.
That right there demonstrates a grave misunderstanding of what causes wars and what continues to perpetuate wars. All wars are bankster wars. The banksters are the puppet masters who own the puppet politicians. The puppet politicians are the legislators and the lawmakers that make it possible for the defense contractors to profit. And it doesn't matter if the president of the United States is a Republican or if he's a Democrat. That's what goes on behind the scenes, behind the curtain. That's why 12,000 lobbyists own, operate, and control Washington's District of Criminals, not the 535 who are supposed to be representing the American people. And yet these charlatans, like this guy and Benny Johnson, your boy Benny, won't talk about that because they want to play the left versus right paradigm lie, because that is their gravy train. That is what makes them money. That's how they capitalize, and that's how they profit. 1% control the world, 4% are their puppets, 90% are asleep, and about 5% know and are trying to wake up the 90%. So the 1% use the 4% to keep the 5% from waking up the 90%.
Tariffs just got struck down by a court, but they're also causing inflation. I'm not even joking. Due to the tariffs' insane size, they're causing inflation, but they're also just illegal. So there's no point to them. We'll cover all of this, but Laura Rosen broke this by saying Trump has no public events scheduled all weekend. Don't believe he was seen today either. And then someone points out, or yesterday, and she says, a White House pool reporter says the pool did not see the president today. Quote, we have a travel/photo lid as of 5:17 p.m. The pool did not physically see the president today. This brings me on to the clip.
Agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty.
Really sharp and energetic president. You can see the bruising on his hand right there, which isn't indicative of much.
Adam and people like him cannot hide their hypocrisy. There's no way he would have ever said this, nor did he say this about Joe Biden until after the fact. Like Jakey the Snake Tapper, he knew all along that there was mental decline within Biden, but he didn't release his book until weeks after the election. These people know what they're doing, and they know why they're doing it. And they have the gall to wax all virtuous about taking the moral high ground because they're in the appropriate political party on the right side of history.
Until you couple it with his behavior. I mean, watch historian Heather Cox Richardson explaining the cognitive decline patterns in a brilliant way.
Oh yeah, check out what this woman says.
And had Trump sign an executive order in which he claimed that that he would insist that anybody who was caught burning a flag would automatically get a year in jail. Well, in his discussion of the executive order, Trump said, oh, everybody is burning flags. It's so terrible. You know, this is such a terrible thing. And, you know, we have to stop this flag burning. When was the last time you heard of anybody burning a flag? I mean, I was like, what? Flag burning? And that's really interesting because that was a really big deal in the 1980s, obviously leading to the Supreme Court decision. And in many ways, Trump is reverting to the 1980s, a time when he felt like he was very powerful.
So she's linking Trump's desire to jail somebody who burns a flag today with the popularity of flag burning back in the 1980s and trying to link a mental decline within Trump's mind because of what he feels about flag burning. Trump is saying what he's saying about flag burning, not because he's reverting back to the popularity of flag burning in the 1980s. He's wanting to penalize Americans burning flags, which is an expression of free speech, because he's a tyrant. Now, he may be in mental decline, I don't know, but we do know he's morally bankrupt. We do know Joe Biden is morally bankrupt. We know Kamala Harris and Barack Obama and Bill and Hillary Clinton and all the politicians are morally bankrupt, and they're controlled by the 12,000 lobbyists and special interest groups who actually run Washington, D.C. and set the policies for the rest of us. So rather than talk about moral bankruptcy, they want to talk about mental decline. And that's easy for them to do because in their minds, it sets them free from the hypocritical snare, which invariably they're in because they're playing the left versus right paradigm lie scheme. So while the leftists are making fun of and capitalizing on Trump's mental decline, the rightists want to try to capitalize on a little blip on the screen in Cracker Barrel stock, associating that with get woke, go broke. Check this out from Benny Johnson.
Cracker Barrel's controversial rebrand won't be stopped. Here's how menus are changing too. Now they're taking away the menus, the biscuits. Last time I went to Cracker Barrel's, last time I'll go to Cracker Barrel. Burn it down, burn it down. Not only did they change the logo, they also ruined the entire atmosphere. 6 months, they won't exist. A complete travesty. And Cracker Barrel stock has collapsed. How many times they got to learn? Bud Light, Jaguar, Target, how many times have we shown them?
Cracker Barrel stock has collapsed. Has it really, though? I want you to notice that Benny Johnson's snapshot here of Cracker Barrel stock was taken on August 20th. And this video that he did was 9 days ago, as of the recording of this video right here. But if you really want to be honest about the snapshot of Cracker Barrel stock and when its decline actually began, the decline didn't happen and the stock didn't actually plummet when they announced the logo change and the fact that they were going to rearrange and modernize the furniture. If I look at a one-day snapshot as of today and the close of the market on August 29th, you see that it's down 0.4% for the day. It's up 10% for the 5-day period. It's down 3% in the last month, and it's up 32% in the last 6 months. So if anything, Cracker Barrel stock has gone up almost 33%. And according to this 6-month chart, its decline began on July 23rd. Why is this important? Because Cracker Barrel wouldn't announce their logo change until a month later, almost a month later, on August 19th. So as of August 19th, has Cracker Barrel stock really collapsed like Benny Johnson wants us to believe?
And Cracker Barrel stock has collapsed.
And Cracker Barrel stock has collapsed.
Actually, not only hasn't it collapsed, it's actually up by 40 cents since August 19th, which is the date of the release of the logo change. On August 19th, it closed at $59.47. It currently sits at $59.82. And if you really want to talk about when the Cracker Barrel stock really started to collapse, just consider that on April 9th, 2021, the stock was trading at $175.09, and it's lost $116 of its value per share in the last 4 years. And despite the smug, arrogant smirk on Benny's face, that collapse had nothing to do with a logo change or a dining room remodel, or even about getting woke and going broke. Now, they may continue to go broke because of the remodel change and the logo change, but we don't know yet. I personally like the old-fashioned Cracker Barrel. I don't like the modernization of it, but who the frick cares? I think people like Benny do because it gives them a sense of relevance while the world actually does collapse. Hey, if you get something out of these videos and you want to support this channel and my work here, just give this video a like, share it with everybody you know. Let's break the left versus right paradigm lie. It's getting really, really ridiculous, and things are about to get really, really tricky with this AI prison planet they're constructing for us. I'm Brian. Thanks for joining me. I want to hear from you in the comment section below. I will see you in the next video.